If you take the issue of HIV and AIDS, where our foundation works all over the world, 59% of the HIV-positive adults in sub-Saharan Africa are women. Something almost no one knows, and most of them are HIV positive, even though they are at themselves guilty of none of the high-risk behaviors which produce initial infection. It's like you're walking along the street one day and somebody drops a block of concrete on you. 75% of the infected youth in sub-Saharan Africa are young women, aged 15 to 24. For us, in the areas where we're trying to get an end to stigma and a maximization of public involvement of young people, it turns out to be a wonderful thing. Our best ambassadors are young women and teenagers who have been sexually abused and infected and refuse to live as victims. I would like to lose them as assets. I would like it if there were none of them to do this work. But it's important that we focus on that. Let's look at some things that are more positive. According to the United Nations, women do 66%, two-thirds of the world's work, produce 50% of the world's food, a factor which would stun people in this country given the way agriculture is organized, earn 10% of the world's income, and own 1% of the world's property. You'll forgive me if I think that the economic statistics I just cited bear some connection to the health statistics I mentioned above. And yet, you'd be amazed how many people of goodwill who get up every day in their own lives and do the right thing have utterly no awareness of these things, much less what could be done about them. And what the relationship of such factors is to the absence of economic development in countries, to the rise of corruption in certain political cultures, to the increase in violence in some areas. I mean, we've got to connect the dots here in order for a lot of places in the world to become whole again. So whether the issue is improving the involvement of young women and girls in education, to climate change, and all political, economic, and social issues in between, I think empowering women is central to what the world has to do in the 21st century. And the commitment makers that I'm about to introduce have focused on this, focused on all aspects of women's lives. I think this should stay a central cause of not just the Clinton Global Initiative, but all of us who care about this. So let's begin with the commitments.